It continues. Palestinians are being massacred en masse. Lebanese people are being massacred. Syrians are being massacred. Iran is being attacked. The people are in danger, and you have a Zionist entity that is hell-bent on the destruction of the beautiful people. So as a community, we need to come together and stand together to tell this complicit government run by Albanese that enough is enough. So come together, folks. I want to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land that we stand on today, the Wurundjeri and Bunurong people of the Kulin Nation. I recognize that this land was never ceded, sovereignty was never ceded, and it always was and always will be Aboriginal land. Be louder, always was and always will be Aboriginal land. And it is important that we recognize that what's happening in Palestine is happening here. You have to recognize that us as settlers on this land, we are complicit in aiding and abetting the genocide of the indigenous people. We must stand up against this injustice. We must stand up with our Aboriginal brothers and sisters. We must stand up with Lydia Thorpe, who bravely stood against the fucking king and told him, and people shut her, that she spoke truth to power. And that is why it is important to speak truth to power, because it scares the living daylights out of them. And they know that they're in the wrong. And as people, we know that we are in the right. So you better stand up, you better fight. Indigenous deaths in custody continue to rise up. Indigenous deaths continue to stand and continue to rise. Indigenous suicide rates are increasing by the minute because they are not receiving the due care and attention that they need. And we are complicit in doing so. We cannot hide from this. You must realize we cannot hide. If we don't address the injustices happening to the Indigenous people here on these lands of so-called Australia, in the Kulin Nation, then we have no right to talk about what is happening in Palestine, what's happening in Lebanon, what's happening in Syria, what's happening in Sudan, what's happening in the Congo. Absolutely no right. So, truth and power and treaty for our Indigenous brothers and sisters. You support Lydia Thorpe. You support Uncle Gary. You support everyone that stands against injustice here. Now, I want to introduce Uncle Robbie. Is Uncle Robbie here? Is he nearby? Uncle Robbie Thorpe? Alright, he's on his way. Once we'll get Uncle Robbie to speak to us about a few important things that are happening over the next few weeks, in the last few months of this horrible, horrible year. But in the meantime, everywhere we know, everyone here knows the north of Gaza is being obliterated as we speak. Everyone here knows that Gaza and the West Bank and Ramallah and Jenin and Haifa and Akka and everywhere in Palestine is bleeding. We are bleeding before you. We have to continue to rise up. If we allow what is happening in northern Gaza to continue, like we said a year ago, if we allowed it to happen in Rafah, if we allowed it to happen in Beit Lahia, if we allowed it to happen in Jenin, then we are gone. The people of Palestine are being ethnically cleansed before your very eyes. Over 902 families have been wiped off family registry. Imagine that! 902 families! 3,000 families have one or two relatives remaining in their bloodlines. In these and these figures are about 2 months old now. So the likelihood of those 1 and 2 have probably been wiped out, and we have thousands more of families being eradicated off the face of this earth by the Zionist entity that is Israel. We have to continue to rise up. There is no more. The core message is the sanctioning of Israel. We must sanction Israel now. There is nothing more, nothing less. We must expel the Israeli ambassador. We must sanction Israel. And every single trained military, academic, media tie with this fucking entity that is Israel. I am angry. I am angry. I am angry. My voice is dying. I am angry. Every single Palestinian's voice is dying. We are beseeching you. Enough with the injustice. Enough with killing our babies. Our babies are being beheaded. The media doesn't do one fucking article about Palestinian babies being beheaded. But here we are. We will continue to show up every Sunday because it fucking annoys the shit out of them. We will show up every Sunday. Fuck the coffins, fuck the government, fuck everyone that's complicit. We will show up. Is Uncle Robbie here? Is he coming? Okay. We'll go on to our next speaker until Uncle Robbie arrives. Please put your hands together for Katerina Sinani from the UWU. Katerina is a National Executive Director of the United Workers Union and leads the Farms portfolio. Katerina helped win the recent Workplace Justice Visa to allow migrant workers to fight their exploitation in the workplace and was the primary driver of UWU's involvement in the refugee encampment. Put your hands together for Katerina.
Okay, thank you. I want to start by sending solidarity and respect to all my brothers and sisters who have been turning up every week in the fight for freedom, justice and peace in Palestine. I want to acknowledge all the union members here today and say that I'm very proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with you in this struggle and in amplifying the voices of human rights and the fight for human rights in Palestine. And I want to remember the almost 50,000 innocent civilians murdered in Palestine by a genocidal government. In particular, I want to actually shout out to the workers who are part of that death toll. I want to talk about the healthcare workers, the nurses, the doctors, the carers murdered and displaced through this war. I want to talk about the education workers, the teachers, the education assistants, the students murdered and displaced in this war. I want to talk about the community and aid workers and the journalists murdered and displaced in this war. And I want to talk about the food workers, the workers who actually pick and pack and transport food across Palestine, and in the agricultural sectors and in the fisheries that have been displaced and murdered in this war. This is why this is union business. This is why this is a union issue, because at the heart of it, this is about human rights. Palestine is not free. Workers in Palestine are not free. And if workers in Palestine are not free, then workers in Australia are not free. Today I also just want to share a struggle that is much closer to home but yet still connected. And that is the struggle of displaced workers and people in our community. We know whenever there is war and poverty across the globe, we know there are displaced people and workers. that we are seeing that now that led to extreme poverty in their country. My Nonno was actually a prisoner of war in a Nazi labour camp. They fled Europe to come to Australia. The only difference between then and now is that we had the chance to become permanent residents and citizens of this country and build a life. I am the embodiment of a system that gave hope and dream to many migrants who fled war and poverty. That is not the case anymore. That has not been the case for many decades in Australia, and that is a shame. So our union is very, very proud to stand with the refugee community in Australia. Many of them are members of our union. They are members of many unions. They are nurses, they are aged care workers, they work in hotels, they are drivers, they are food workers and manufacturing workers and farm workers. And many of them have been in limbo for up to 12 years in a broken migration system which cycles them through visa upon visa upon visa, never giving them security. And that's why this is a union issue. That's right, shame. Shame on every government and every immigration minister that has denied these workers a secure visa and a place to call home in Australia. So our union has been very proud to stand not just with the movement to free Palestine, but also with the refugee community, many of who are union members and who are trapped into this vicious, inhumane, cruel system. And we are fighting to change it. We are fighting to win permanent visas. We have won a workplace justice visa through the farm teams organising, but that's not enough. That is not enough. There needs to be permanent visas for every refugee who has been here for decades, working, paying their fucking taxes, contributing in this country, raising their children, and who see no benefit in the system of government and migration. So we're fighting to change the system. What that means is on the 9th of November, there will be a rally in support of the refugees. We have supported the encampment and we will support the campaign. We are asking every single union member here and every member of the community who cares about justice for refugees to come along to the 9th of November rally. But more importantly, I am asking you to start to talk to your union leadership. I am a leader, an elected leader of the union. I am here representing our members who are refugees and our members across the sector fighting. If I can do it, so can every other leader of the union movement in Victoria and in the country. So I'm asking you to actually write to your union and ask them to come on the 9th of November to a rally and to start to join the campaign for justice for refugees. Thank you.
Another round of applause. I'm a tall lady, I need adjustment. Thank you. Just a couple of admin announcements. So as you know, for the past year we've been organising week in, week out this effort by Teachers for Palestine, teachers and school staff of Palestine, our medics, our healthcare workers, Jews in Solidarity, the peace movement, Free Palestine Melbourne, and everyone here coming together, the Intifada, everybody coming together because this is what community is about. It is about standing against the injustice, about speaking truth to power, about voicing the voice of the voiceless, right? So please, if you've got change, or if you've got the ability, if you are, please support. There's going to be little tins going around. This helps us with organising. It helps us organise other actions throughout now. So please put your where you can, if you're going to change. But also, more importantly, week in, week out, we have an amazing, incredible group of individuals through marshals, through medics, through volunteers that put their bodies on the line. If you are interested in marshalling and supporting the marshalling team, please head towards anywhere marshals. Where are we heading towards? Just behind me at the stage. If you want to volunteer for marshalling, just behind me at the stage, and you'll have some marshals there assist you. Now, Thank you. We also are aware of the lack of the media presence here. They only show up when they expect us to go all out, but really do not care for voicing what is happening in Palestine and in Lebanon and in Gaza. They only voice us by, writing tabloid-esque pages that put individuals within this movement at risk, that they put their names and they tarnish them. They make us seem like we are evil personified. But look at us. I see beauty everywhere here. I see justice here. I see care and love and humanity and a drive for a better future. When we bring our children, we know that we're bringing them for our future. We know that we're bringing them to rise up to the injustices, because we, despite our anger and despite the pain, there is no despair. It is an anger towards moving towards what we need to make this world a better future for our children and to give them some form of hope. Because without that hope, we are lost. We are a lost, lost world. Uncle Robbie is here. If there ever was a legend, this man is a legend. Please put your hands together for Uncle Robbie. He's an Aboriginal activist from the Definitively Long the Gunai Nation. For over 40 years, Uncle Robbie has shaken the status quo through political and cultural intervention that challenged the ongoing genocide and colonisation of Aboriginal lands and peoples in so-called Australia, and has been a staunch human being coming with us every week. Please put your hands together for Uncle Robbie.
It's been 50 years. I was here in 1971, 72 with rallies against Israel, supporting Palestine. Before I ever went to an Aboriginal rally, I come to the Palestinian rallies. My very first experience politically. So it's been 50 years for me, because we've got very similar issues. Occupied land, genocidal oppression. Australia's got 250 years of it. Basically exterminated the people there, particularly Victoria. Victoria is known as the Premier State. What they call it the Premier State for? Because it was the first one to constitute on the basis of empty land. That didn't happen in Merritt Island, right next to New Guinea. It's a bit of a Zionist conspiracy, all that. You have a look at the lawyers who did that Mabo case. They're Zionist Jews. In fact, they do all that business here. They write all the laws. They've been dominating this place for a long time. In fact, Australia's like the big West Bank. It's been getting away with it 250 years. They've been getting away with it. Intentional genocide. Prove me wrong. If you have a look at the Convention to Prevent and Punish for the Crime of Genocide, 1948, ring a bell that date, you'll see Australia is guilty of everything described as genocide. And there's no doubt about it. And what you need to do is stop these fascists here supplying Israel militarily and economically. Please clean up your own backyard, Australia. It's not the real name of it anyway, right? Time to all learn it. Because while we do nothing here, evil reigns over there. So good look in your backyard, Australia. And stop it. No more supply in Israel. You know, where would Israel be without America, Australia and Britain.
Nowhere!
Right, nowhere. They're nothing.
They're cowards!
So they're the ones behind it all. And this country here, I reckon, it's the worst of them all. Because no one knows nothing about Australia, right? Secret history, full of lies, terra nullius, and legal fiction. That's the basis of the occupation here. Legal fiction. Time to get real. I'm here to say, we've got Camp Sovereignty opening back up today. We're not going away. We never ceded our sovereignty. You ever look, the Truth Commission agrees and so does the state. So what does that mean? Why aren't all of our people out of jail? We're the most jail people on earth in our own country. Good job, Oz. Still stealing our kids. Still creating the conditions of life with intent to destroy everything defined as genocide. Australia's guilty of. There's no doubt about it. On the 10th of December, we've got a case against Mark Redjev. I don't know if you know who he is. He's an advisor, or he was an advisor to the Netanyahu government and the war cabinet. He's been advocating genocide. He claims to be an Australian citizen. Well, that's really offensive to me. How dare he? Using our country as a launch pad to attack other countries. Australia's disgusting. Really is. There's a little QR code on that pole there. If you want to see what we're doing in terms of our court cases, that little, where there's drumsticks appointment. Get a copy of that and follow our cases. Mark Redjev on the 10th of December. And I think it's the 11th of November, Mark Dreyfus, the Attorney General, the guy who's unwilling to revoke the Genocide Convention. The guy's been hiding behind this thing called a fiat that he holds. Anyway, we've broken through that now. We're going to open up this Genocide Act for everybody. Palestine, West Papua, and anybody else who's got an issue with genocide in this country. The genie's out of the bottle, folks. Get onto that court case. Come and support us. Because we're going to knock them over. Like I said, Australia's guilty of everything defined as genocide, according to that 1948 Act. And even more, the ICCJ, the Rome Statute, Australia signed on, and therefore they're bound by that as well. So, this is it, folks. It's checkmate. And when it's checkmate, it means the king falls. Australia's cooked, right? We're not going away. We want our rights recognised. And that effectively undermines this big West Bank here, right? And then what they're doing globally. You see that they're involved with, they're protagonist Australia, Ukraine, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Israel. They're the ones right here. So let's knock them on the head. Yes. Genocide is fine. This t-shirt came out of our first Camp Sovereignty. It's called the Black GSP. G meaning genocide, S meaning sovereignty, and T meaning treaty, or lack of. Stop the genocide!
Aboriginal land!
Always wars, always moving!
Aboriginal land!
We got a little visitor here.
here, but that's okay. We're safe, we're good. All right, folks, let's focus. So just like Uncle Robbie said, Camp Sovereignty today at 2 p.m. there is the flag raising of the original tent embassy flag and a smoking ceremony at 2 p.m. We'll have Uncle Robbie and Kieran Stewart Ashton and others talk about the ongoing genocide prosecution cases. This is really important and really fundamental to the work that everybody is doing, but especially for the Indigenous community here in Naarm and in so-called Australia. Now, ladies and gentlemen, like I said earlier, there was the lack of media here showing us what the media is really about. Earlier this week, 6 journalists in northern Gaza, literally our windows or our eyes to the atrocities happening in Gaza, were targeted by so-called Israel with falsities and false notions that they are part of certain groups. There is no evidence of this. Remember that Israel, every time it confesses to something, or every time it says or accuses the Palestinians of something, it is actually a confession of the atrocities that they are committing. You have Al Jazeera journalists Anas al-Sharif, Hussein Shafat, Ismail Abu Umar, and Talal Aruqi. You also have Ashraf Sarraj and Ala Salameh. Without those 6 and others amongst them, we will be blind to the atrocities that happen in North Gaza. I pray for them, and I hope that you pray for their safety. I hope that you continue to amplify their voices on all social media, because without us amplifying their voices, we have no hope. We will not know the genocide and ethnic cleansing that is happening in northern Gaza. It is an atrocity. They are killing families in the dozens. They are bombing residential buildings. If they really wanted peace, and if they really wanted to release the hostages, we would have had an end 12 months ago. But Israel is killing civilians. It is killing political leaders involved in the negotiations process. What peace do they want? What peace are they speaking of? It is very clear to us now that it wants to eradicate and ethnically cleanse Palestinian land, just like it did in 1948, just like it did in 1967, just like it did in the 2000s, just like it did in the First Intifada, the Second Intifada, in 2008, in 2014, in 2021, and now. We are witnessing it now. This should enrage you. This should move you. This should move you to act. Every small action matters. When it comes to journalists and journalism here, it is a farce. They are manufacturing consent. They are telling lies. They continue to propagate Zionist propaganda that means nothing. It is false. Every Zionist accusation is a confession. So it's incumbent upon you to speak truth to power, to talk, to write op-eds, to have a conversation, even if it's at the cigarette store, even if it's with your checkout counter, even if it's with you and your family members, and even if they disagree, you keep talking about it. Keep talking about it. Keep talking about it. The conversations matter everywhere, in universities, in libraries, in our homes, on the couch, in social media conversations. It matters everywhere, even as our students. These kids matter. Their lives matter. Palestinian children's lives matter. Aboriginal lives matter. Aboriginal children's lives matter. And we must speak truth to power. There is no compromising. Before I introduce our next speaker, I want to take a moment. Whatever your belief system is, I want you to take a moment to reflect, to say a little prayer, to say the Fatiha, to say whatever you have in your heart for the 500 plus civilians killed in Sudan and Al Jazeera. 500 people were killed, massacred by the Rapid Support Forces, supplied and aided and abetted by the UAE. There are There are voices coming out saying that 100 women committed suicide to evade rape and death. That, to me, is a failure of humanity. We have failed humanity. So please take a moment of silence, a prayer for all those that were killed. Glory to the martyrs of Sudan, glory to the martyrs of Gaza, glory to the martyrs of Lebanon, glory to the martyrs of Syria, and glory to every single resistance movement and every single resistance fighter that was killed in the fight for justice, in the fight for liberation, and the fight for return. Now our next speaker shows what even our young are, how involved our young are in this movement. Please put your hands together for Callum Bell. Callum is a Year 10 student at Coburg Secondary and an activist and school student for Palestine. Welcome,
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Hello everyone, thank you for coming out today. My name's Callum, I'm an activist for Students for Palestine, and I'm a revolutionary socialist at Coburg High. We stand here a year into all-out genocide in Gaza. We've witnessed settler expansion in the West Bank, over 40,000 dead in Gaza, and now Israel continues its imperialist expansion into Lebanon. Over a year we've been coming out every week for Palestine, in the face of blatant repression of pro-Palestinian activism. Just this week, a Students for Palestine activist was arrested in her own home for organising the Land Forces rally. Land Forces, a convention where the world's war criminals gathered to discuss how further to enrich themselves through war and genocide. A convention hosted by the Victorian government. A convention where the Victorian government spent $15 million on police to protect these war criminals. The government of Australia has demonstrated time and time again that they would rather spend money on war, death and genocide rather than our hospitals or our schools. At my school there are ceiling tiles missing from classrooms, plaster crumbling off of walls, and yet our government can spend $300 billion on nuclear submarines? Our education as students is less important to our government than helping Israel murder children in Palestine. This is why every high schooler in the crowd today must come out on the 26th of November at 2 p.m. Leave school and meet here at the State Library. Tell your friends, tell your peers. Because when there are no schools left in Gaza, the last thing these ruling class fucks across the world want to see is a mass of high school students on the streets marching for Palestine. They tell us the way to change the world is by finishing school. Sit down, shut up, get your degree. But we know how to change the world. We know what we must do, and that is leave school, strike, this 26th of November at 2 p.m. at the State Library. See you there. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
to do. They've cancelled schools, they've destroyed schools, they're bombing schools that are being used as refugee shelters to help assist Palestinians displaced from their homes, within their homes. There are Palestinians that have just been displaced 14, 15, 16, 20 times. And now the northern Gaza Strip, the north of Gaza, Jabalia, is facing an eradication that we have not seen since the Holocaust. We are seeing people being burned alive, children being burned alive. This has to stop. We have Kamal Adwan Hospital being besieged. We have the director of Kamal Adwan Hospital, Dr. Hussam Abu Safiya. He stood staunch against the Israeli occupation. He refuses to leave the hospital. And what do? They punish him by killing his son. His beautiful 18-year-old son, who had hopes and dreams and aspirations just like every single one of you. Why does his life not matter? Why do Palestinians' lives not matter? They do matter. For every single healthcare worker here, keep talking to every single nurse, every single technician, every single doctor. Let them know that they are destroying the healthcare system in Gaza. There are no more hospitals that can function. Medics cannot reach people in northern Gaza. They cannot aid or assist the injured. The injured are dying from their injuries. They are bleeding to death because we have no medics able to access them. There are families beseeching Anas, the Al Jazeera hospital, the Al Jazeera reporter, beseeching him to speak out for them over the phone, telling them 40, 50 members being killed and only a few survivors. There was a father that held his child dying and bleeding to death because there were no medics able to reach them. What world is this? What world is this that we continue to allow this to happen? We must act, disrupt, boycott, sanction, I beseech you. It is easy. You hit them in the economy, you hit them in the pockets, and they will fall. So please, I beg you, boycott, divestment, and sanction. Community comes together. The people rising up together will end every single unjust system. We've seen it happen in Algeria. Algeria withstood 60 plus years to get their liberation, hundreds of years of occupation, millions of people killed, and they stood staunch against their occupier, the French that aid and abet Israel, the Germans that aid and abet Israel, the US that aids and abets Israel, and Australia that aids and abets Israel. Shame! Sanction Israel! And end trade ties with Israel. Every single dime matters. You hit them in the pocket and they will crumble. And mark my words, the Zionist economy is crumbling. Thousands, hundreds of businesses have been shut down. There are companies withdrawing from contracts, billions of dollars of contracts from Israel. Why? Because they know that the complicity in this genocide must end. So we know where to hit them. Hit them in the pocket and they will fall. It is unfathomable that a country, a so-called country, can bomb several different countries. It is bombing Lebanon, it is bombing Syria, it is bombing Palestine, and it is bombing Iran. And what do? We aid and abet it with military contracts? Fuck no! We will end this injustice. People will rise up. Disrupt the status quo. Don't show up to work. Go and do what you need to do. It takes three people to go to their elected representatives every single day and demand to speak to them. Demand to end the contracts with Israel. Demand to end any and every single affiliation with Israel. Why? Because this entity is bound to fall. It cannot continue to do what it is doing, and it will fall. And Palestinian Bosnian community activist, co-founder of a new initiative called Gaza Endurance, using the unique platform of extreme physical endurance challenges to get active and raise funds for Palestine. For the month of November, Aziz will be running from Melbourne to Sydney to support the cause. Put your hands together for Aziz Nabil.
Free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
I greet you with the greeting of peace, blessing and mercy. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the original custodians and owners of this land and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Always has and always will be.
Aboriginal land!
Always has and always will be.
Aboriginal land!
I'd also like to acknowledge and honour the fallen heroes of Gaza and wider Palestine, as well as those in Lebanon and elsewhere around the world where people are being oppressed. I offer my sincere condolences to any of their families who may be in attendance today. My name is Aziz Nabulsi. As you heard, I'm the co-founder of Gaza Endurance. I'm very honoured to be here today to talk to you. I'd like to share an experience or an emotion I feel you can all relate with since this calamity began. That emotion is restlessness, where you can't sit still, where you can't stand around on the side doing nothing, when you know what those monsters are doing to your brothers and sisters on the other side of the world. Shame!
Shame!
You can't sit still, and I know that's how you feel, because it's the reason you are out here week after week for 56 weeks consecutively. We come out and we keep coming out because we know we have the power. We can't give in to the helplessness. They want us to believe that we are waves crashing against the wall making no impact. But over time, the waves will erode that wall, and one day that wall will come crashing down. One day the wall surrounding Gaza will come crashing down. We have the will and the energy to create positive change, and we have a direction to focus that energy into. We all must look within, identify our own personal strengths and skills, identify what we have to contribute and how it can be used to inspire change. No act is too small. What's that going to do? Maybe that's what you've heard from a co-worker or friend. They say, what difference will that make? Don't let anyone belittle your contribution. They have no idea what long-term effect your contribution will cause. I'd like to share with you a project and initiative which I have chosen to put my will and energy towards, a project inspired by that restlessness that we all feel, a project inspired by the resilience and endurance of the Gazans. Next Friday, I will be beginning my monumental journey, a fundraising run of 1,000 kilometres from here to Sydney. 1,000 kilometres to support Palestine, 1,000 kilometres to raise awareness and funds for aid to send them the most essential supplies that they need. We will be running almost a marathon every single day for 30 days straight, pushing ourselves to the limit. Our struggle will reflect a minute fraction of the struggle they have been facing over the last year and for the last 70 years prior. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Our project is Gaza Endurance. You can find us on Instagram and follow our journey every step of the way once it begins on the 1st of November. That's next week on Friday. We're partnered with Human Appeal Australia. They're facilitating our donations and our aid distribution. They have their own guys on the ground in Gaza doing amazing work, so we're very lucky to be working with them. Also, I'd like to mention the MCCA Halal Finance. They're supporting us on our journey as well and have been very generous towards the cause, so may Allah reward them. Please check out Gaza Endurance on Instagram. I'd like to end by urging you all, find your thing, find your superpower, and make waves with it. Thank you for your support. Thank you for hearing me today. Sit down.
Free, free Palestine! The kids are alright. You know the kids are alright when they're willing to run 1,000 kilometers to support Gaza. You know the kids are alright when they're spending their Sunday afternoon waving the flags and attending rallies week in, week out. But if we don't do this for our kids, then we have no hope in the future. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Be loud! Let's raise our voices! Let's get this march going! Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Go! Bravo!
I'm good, how are you?
Good, good.
I'm good, thanks.
Nice to see you.
You too.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah, we all do.
I'm going to get some of those slices.
Yeah, it's all of it's up on YouTube. Every rally and other events as well are all up on our YouTube channel.
And,
So use it.
yeah.
Are you talking Greek when you speak to each other?
No.
You speak at all?
Yeah, I can speak it. I just have to don't get many opportunities to practice.
Go to Greece.
Yeah. If I'm in Greece within a month, I'm pretty fluent.
Hey.
Would you like a sticker?
Yep. Yeah. Thank you.
They've been, the Greeks have been trying to contact the Greek community of Melbourne, and the Greek community of Melbourne has got a lot of Zionist sort of affiliations, unfortunately. So
They live nearby.
they're not responding at all.
But there are Greek groups here that
Oh yeah, absolutely.
hello. How are you, my friend? You can bring us.
Hi, how you doing?
Who's filming when I see
So if you can't make it, just jump onto either Instagram or TikTok because we stream every week if we can. Sometimes, like when me and the other person that does it are both away, then we kind of do what we can.
I spend a lot of time at home in bed, so it's so good.
It's good. Oh, thank you. Lots of people have been asking me about mine, so I'm glad you're back.
Cookie, cupcake, leave the support. What do you need? Go for it, yeah. Sorry
you.
that one a bit broken, but
It's okay.
easy to share that way.
developed a good
Stop the bombing now, 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 now. We won't be silent. Stop the bombing now, 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 now.
I can hear the drums in the back of my head, but I can't hear you. I can't see you. I can't feel your energy. I want every single hand or feet raised in the air. I want every single Castilla raised in the air. I want you all to lose your voices. Why?
We are the people. We won't be silent. Stop the bombing now, 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 now. We are the people. We won't be silent. Stop the bombing now, 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 now. We are the people. We won't be silent. Stop the bombings now, 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 now. We are the people. We won't be silent. Stop the bombing now, 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 now. We are the people. We won't be silent. Stop the bombing now, 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 now. We are the people. We won't be silent. Stop the bombing now, 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 now. We are the people. We won't be silent. Stop the bombing now, 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 now. We are the people. We won't be silent. Stop the bombing now, 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 now. We are the people. We won't be silent. Stop the bombing now, 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 now.
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Palestine! Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Send in our millions! In our thousands in our millions!
We are all Palestinians!
In our thousands in our millions!
We are all Palestinians!
In our thousands in our millions!
We are all Palestinians!
In our thousands in our millions!
We are all Palestinians!
In our thousands in our millions!
We are all Palestinians!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Gaza! Free Lebanon! make us proud. Say it clear and say it loud. Say it loud and say it clear. Refugees are welcome here. Say it loud and say it clear. Refugees are welcome here. Say it loud and say it clear. Refugees are welcome here. Say it loud and say it clear. Refugees are welcome here. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free Lebanon. Free, free Lebanon. Free, free, free Lebanon. Free, free, free Lebanon. Free, free Gaza. Free, free Gaza. Free, free, free Gaza. Free, free, free Gaza. Free Jerusalem. Free Jerusalem. Free, free Jerusalem. Free, free Jerusalem. What do we want? Liberation. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Liberation. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Liberation. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Liberation. When do we want it? للمية للمية فلسطين عليا فلسطين عليا من المية للمية
here every week.
the land. Free the people, free the land.
Free the people, free the land.
Justice is our demand.
Justice is our demand.
Demand.
Our demand.
Justice is our demand.
Justice is our demand.
Justice is our demand.
Justice is our demand.
Free the land.
Free the people, free the land.
She's a handful.
Free the people, free the land.
Free the land.
Free the people, free the land.
an occupational hazard when you walk my neighbours all the time.
brothers. We'll all be free, Habibi. We'll all be free, inshallah. From the river to the sea. We'll all be free, Habibi. We'll all be free, inshallah. We'll all be free, Habibi. We'll all be free, inshallah. From the river to the sea. We'll all be free, Habibi. We'll all be free, inshallah. From the river to the sea. We'll all be free, Habibi. We'll all be free, inshallah. We'll all be free, Habibi. We'll all be free, inshallah. From the river to the sea. We'll all be free, Habibi. We'll all be free, inshallah. We'll all be free, Habibi. We'll all be free, inshallah. From the river to the sea. We'll all be free, Habibi. We'll all be free, inshallah. We'll all be free, Habibi. We'll all be free, inshallah. From the river to the sea. We'll all be free, Habibi. We'll all be free, inshallah. We'll all be free, Habibi. We'll all be free, inshallah. From the river to the sea. We'll all be free, Habibi. We'll all be free, inshallah. We'll all be free, Habibi. We'll all be free, inshallah. From the river to the sea. We'll all be free, Habibi. We'll all be free, inshallah. We'll all be free, Habibi. We'll all be free, inshallah. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. In our thousands, in our millions. In our thousands, in our millions. What a rally, what a turnout, well done, keep going, keep coming, keep coming. Whilst we're here waiting for people to come, let's shout out for Gaza, let them hear all the way in Jabalia, in the north, in Beit Lahia, in Rafah, everywhere in Palestine. Gaza! 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 Make no difference to us. So bye! Now, free Palestine from the river to the sea, because Zionists actually hate that one. They know that they're on the wrong side of history, and they know that their government and their entity will crumble and fall. Free, free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Now, before I introduce our next speaker, this is why it's important to have these forums, to come to every single Sunday rally, because every Sunday rally brings community together. It brings the conversation, it networks, it allows you to have thoughtful, precise conversations as to what to happen next. And the next thing that really is important is when we say sanction Israel, we do mean it. We need to sanction them, to hit them economically, to hit them in their pockets. The next event coming on Tuesday, 29th of October at Coburg Town Hall. It is a community forum to educate, to inform how your taxes fund weapons. The Labour government has promised to improve our lives in the middle of a cost of living crisis. But what are they really spending our money on? Weapons manufacturing is a booming industry in Australia and it gets massive government support. So instead of hospitals, community programs and climate adaptation, public money is being poured into facilities that build bombs and fighter jets. So this forum at Coburg Town Hall on Tuesday 29th of October at 6:30 p.m. Be there, bring your friend. It is important. We must understand where our money goes and we must understand how we as individuals spend our money that is complicit with funding this genocide. Every single dollar counts. I mean it. Hundreds of businesses in Israel have been shut down because of the boycott, divestment and sanctions movement. Marshals, can we get some help please with this woman being detained?
It's the Walmart representation for hiring a black and they've been surrounded by
Marshals, can you get to the top corner please to see what's going on? Ladies and gentlemen, can I please get your attention whilst our marshals sort it out? This is where community safety comes through. Now remember, every single thing counts. Our next speaker, while I unlock my phone. This is what they do. They try to intimidate the community, but we know that the community is stronger than that and they keep showing up. It is their very moral compass that they lack. And they instead of fighting against neo-Nazis, instead of detaining fascists at a refugee rally, they detain human beings calling for an end to genocide. Now the next speaker, Hassan Shami, a 23-year-old who has been residing in Lebanon for the last few years. He's a fresh grad from the American University of Beirut in Lebanon, holding a dual degree in mechanical engineering and business administration. Hassan is committed to making a meaningful impact in the lives of those affected by crises, drawing on his extensive volunteering experience. Most recently, Hassan contributed to relief efforts following the large-scale displacement of people from their homes to schools in Lebanon. Please put your hands together for Hassan.
Hi. So I'd like to start by saying that what I saw in Lebanon in the span of a month is something that is inexplicable. It's stuff you think you'd only see in movies, but with Israel as your neighbors, horrific movie scenes and nightmares become a reality. So last month, on the 17th of September, as I was on my way to the local barber in the suburbs of Beirut, I saw a man suddenly collapse to the ground, covered in blood and screaming in pain. Now people thought he was getting shot from above and so they moved away, fearing for their lives, as if they were next. But little did they know that the Israeli military was detonating pagers held by up to 5,000 people in civilian areas, places like grocery stores, pharmacies and shopping malls. They wounded so many civilians that day. Now a couple days later, the Israeli airstrikes leveled the building in the southern suburbs of Beirut, killing 54 people, many of whom were civilians. Now that day, my family took the tough decision to leave our house in the suburbs, hoping for safety somewhere else. And so we packed up as lightly as possible, taking as many as our belongings that we could fit, but leaving back all our memories, and headed to our grandmother's apartment in the heart of Beirut, hoping that we'd be safer over there. Now on Monday the 23rd of September, everything went to hell. We woke up to the Israeli military launching a series of massive airstrikes all over Lebanon, from the south to Beirut all over, killing people, houses falling over the heads of its owners. Described as the deadliest day for Lebanon since the Lebanese Civil War back in 1975, the attacks that day killed 558 people. 50 of those were children and 94 of those were women. Are these the military targets that they talk about? I don't think so. Hundreds of thousands fled their houses that day in a heartbeat, many of them forgetting all of their belongings, even their identification papers. Now the strikes caused chaos all over Lebanon, with mass traffic jams all over, on all the roads. In fact, a relative of mine was stuck in traffic for more than 12 hours, with little to no fuel and without food, on a road that would normally take you 20 to 30 minutes. Now, while we had an apartment to move to and had done so a couple of days earlier, most of the others were not so lucky. They had no place to go to. And so schools were converted into makeshift shelters for these people, but none of those schools were equipped with anything and they were not ready for such an event. That's when I decided that although displaced myself in Lebanon, I should go to the streets and try to help meet the needs of those who need it so much, as they have lost everything. Now, I helped bring canned food, mattresses, blankets, pillows, and other basic needs to people who had lost everything. But it was like trying to stop a flood with a little bucket. Whatever you do, the situation is so vast that your impact can only go so far. It is meaningful, but it can only go so far. Now later on, UN agencies provided lots of aid. They brought blankets, mattresses, and many other stuff. But they still stand incapable of putting a stop to the Israeli war crimes that have even targeted UN peacekeeping forces in Lebanon. So they can bring aid, but they cannot say no to Israel. Now what I have mentioned is just one account out of millions of others in Lebanon, and maybe people saw stuff that were way worse than what I did. Now you ask why people don't leave, but it's not so simple. There is no way out to begin with. Flights are cancelled left, right and centre. International airlines don't come into Beirut anymore. Strikes hit very close to the airport. Now the only operational airline is the Lebanese Middle East Airlines, and that is booked for the next 2 months. So here I'd like to say something that may be controversial, but I would like to thank the Australian government for giving people like me a safe passage out of Lebanon. If it were not for the actions of the Australian government, I would have still been stuck in Lebanon, maybe even killed in an Israeli airstrike that has targeted civilian after civilian in Gaza, Lebanon, all over the Middle East for over a year now. While I was fortunate enough to leave, my sister, most of my relatives and my friends are still stuck in Lebanon, along with millions of others. I've come to hate myself for leaving, while my fellow countrymen struggle to survive every single day thousands of miles away. Now, the Lebanese people are a resilient people, and they face hardship after hardship, and I can say the same for the Palestinians, no doubt about that. And they have suffered every single hardship while they rose and emerged victorious every single time. I have no doubt that they will emerge victorious again and again. But my question is, till when will civilians have to keep on suffering hardship after hardship, giving up on their dreams, sacrificing their families, their brothers, their sons, their husbands, their wives, just as a price to say no to Israel and its colonial ambitions? What the Australian government has done in evacuating its citizens is not enough. I repeat, it is not enough. It should not allow its name to be associated by the war crimes committed by Israel, with the war crimes committed by Israel. It should stop supplying components that go into F-35 fighter aircraft that have killed my people in the Middle East for years now. It should follow suit in the steps of countries that have sought to impose sanctions on Israel. Australia is a nation that prides itself on upholding democracy and human rights. It should not remain passive in the face of Israel's war crimes and its violations of international law as outlined by the UN. And lastly, I'd like to say, free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Can be louder than that for Hassan. Now our next speaker represents students from University of Melbourne for Palestine. University of Melbourne for Palestine is a grassroots collective of University of Melbourne students, staff and alumni organising on campus for a free Palestine. This group of individuals have set the pace for academic and military boycotts of the Zionist entity despite facing threats of expulsion. To talk to us about a significant step in their course to end University of Melbourne's complicity.
I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional custodians of these lands, the lands of the Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung people of the Kulin Nation. Pay my respect to elders past and present, and I'd like to acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded. And I'd also like to thank Uncle Robbie Thorpe, and I hope that a lot of us can be at the courts on the 11th of November to support him. So I'm here to give an update on behalf of UniMel for Palestine. We've been campaigning for the last year to compel our university to divest from weapons manufacturers, and we're now requesting that the Office of the Prosecutor of the International Criminal Court investigate Duncan Maskell as Vice-Chancellor of the University of Melbourne for complicity in war crimes. Because the Office of the Prosecutor has the power to investigate matters and refer them to the ICC. We've been an University of Melbourne student that never got the chance to study here because he was killed by Israel. In his honour, UniMel for Palestine painted a mural on campus. After failing to try and remove the mural that day because it was being protected by students, the university quietly and with cowardice destroyed it at 5 a.m. the next morning. They followed it up with an email condemning anti-Semitism and encouraging students to report other students for graffiti. We know that the university is conducting weapons research, and we know that those partnerships are with companies supplying Israel, like Boeing, Lockheed Martin and BAE Systems. And in fact, one of our most recent FOIs tells us that the university has over 60 pages of recent Boeing contracts alone. We know that independent UN experts have warned entities against supplying materials, equipment and weapons to those very companies, otherwise they may be complicit. We've emailed, we've called, we've met and discussed and negotiated, we ran an encampment, there's been a sit-in, and now we regularly run campaigns online. All they've done is send staff to our meetings to placate us, to lie to us, to gaslight us, and to handball responsibility between them. Now the university has the audacity to respond to the news that we're contacting the Office of the Prosecutor to hold them responsible by calling our actions bizarre. Shame. And they can say whatever they want, and we know that we believe in justice. And ultimately we know who is responsible and who needs to be held accountable. And it's Duncan Maskell and the Council, the CEO and the board of the university. And we're starting with the Vice-Chancellor. We're starting, but we're not ending with this particular communication to the Office of the Prosecutor. And we will continue to take every avenue possible to hold them accountable, and we hope that other universities will follow suit. Francesca Albanese, the UN Special Rapporteur on the occupied Palestinian territories, is now asking for submissions about universities and other entities in a broader investigation into their involvement in the commission of international crimes connected to Israel's unlawful occupation, racial segregation, and we believe, and now we're being heard. It's only a matter of time before the complicity of universities in Israel's crime take the spotlight on the world stage. Thank you.
Next week, if you've got capacity, make it out to Camp Sovereignty.
Thanks everyone, see you next week.